Isaiah chapter 7. In the days of Ahaz, the son of Jotham, son of Uzziah, king of Judah, Rezin, the king of Syria, and Pekah, the son of Remaliah, the king of Israel, came up to Jerusalem to wage war against it, but could not yet mount an attack against it. When the house of David was told, Syria is in league with Ephraim, the heart of Ahaz and the heart of his people shook as the trees of the forest shake before the wind. And the Lord said to Isaiah, Go out to meet Ahaz, you and Shear-Yashub your son, at the end of the conduit of the upper pool on the highway to the washer's field, and say to him, Be careful, be quiet, do not fear, and do not let your heart be faint because of these two smouldering stumps of firebrands, at the fierce anger of Rezin and Syria and the son of Remaliah. Because Syria, with Ephraim and the son of Remaliah, has devised evil against you, saying, Let us go up against Judah and terrify it, and let us conquer it for ourselves, and set up the son of Tabeel as king in the midst of it. Thus says the Lord God, It shall not stand, and it shall not come to pass, for the head of Syria is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is Rezin. Within 65 years, Ephraim will be shattered from being a people, and the head of Ephraim is Samaria, and the head of Samaria is the son of Remaliah. If you are not firm in faith, you will not be firm at all. Again, the Lord spoke to Ahaz, Ask a sign of the Lord your God. Let it be deep as Sheol, or high as heaven. But Ahaz said, I will not ask, and I will not put the Lord to the test. And he said, Hear then, O house of Israel, is it too little for you to weary men, that you weary my God? Therefore, the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. He shall eat curds and honey, when he knows how to refuse the evil and choose the good. Have you ever been involved with bullying? Perhaps you have fallen out with a friend, let's call him Peek, at school, and to get you back, Peek goes back and makes friends with someone else. Let's call her Rezi, who doesn't like you and is a bit of a bully. And they both start being nasty to you. Perhaps after that has happened, you think, right, I'm going to get Peek and Rezi back. I'll make friends with the biggest bully in the school. Their name is Tigger. You're going to get them to be horrible to Peek and to Rezi so that they stop making your life a misery. And amazingly, Tigger, the big bully, agrees to do just that. He starts being horrible to Peek and Rezi. Him and his mates trip them up in the playground. They tell lies about Peek. They steal Rezi's sweets. And for a while, your life gets much easier. Peek and Rezi stop attacking you because they're too busy defending themselves against the bigger bully, Tigger. But then it all goes wrong. Because Tigger, once he's got all Rezi's sweets, he starts demanding you tell lies to the teacher, Imanu. Perhaps Imanu can see what's going on and wants to deal with Tigger. But if you tell lies about the teacher, then he won't be able to correct Tigger and punish him for his bullying behavior. What would be the right thing to do in that situation? Well, what you should do is, right at the start, go and tell the teacher, Imanu, what has happened. Don't just blame the others. Tell them that you have also been wrong, and that you have just wanted to be friends with Pika again. After all, you both like listening to stories together, and you both like helping Mum or Dad with the cooking at home together. Well, something a bit like that happened in the days of a prophet in the Bible called Isaiah. There was a king in the land of Judah named Ahaz. He had a silver crown, and he and his father before him were part of God's kingdom. But there was another part of God's kingdom called Israel that was ruled by a rival whose name was Pekah. He had a crown too, and he wanted to rule the whole kingdom, Judah and Israel. So he got a king from another country, Rezin of Syria, to help him. And they were planning to attack Ahaz in the land of Judah. What in heaven and earth should Ahaz do? At this point, Isaiah went to talk to Ahaz. He was in his walled city of Jerusalem and was looking at his water supply, which was outside the walls. If Rezin and Pekah came and attacked the city, the citizens of Jerusalem could hide behind the walls, but then how would they get water to drink? Isaiah went to him with a message from God. He reminded him how God had led the people of Israel through the Red Sea by a great miracle to escape from another bully, Pharaoh of Egypt, where they had been slaves. He said this to him: "If you're not firm in faith, you will not be firm at all." He told him to trust in God. And then he told him to ask for a miracle, a sign that would help him believe and trust in God. But King Ahaz wouldn't listen, because he already had his own plan to go and ask the even bigger bully, King Tiglath-Pileser from Assyria, to come and attack Pekah and Rezin. Amazingly, God said to Isaiah that he would still give Ahaz a sign anyway. A child would be born without a human father, whose name would be called Emmanuel. Even though Ahaz didn't want this sign, it would happen anyway. This child would be born 700 years in the future, for it was Jesus that Isaiah spoke of. The promise of Jesus coming could have been enough to help Ahaz to be firm in his faith, instead of running to the bully King Tiglath for help. But sadly, that is not what Ahaz did, and the rest, as they say, is history. Tiglath-Pileser came and attacked both Israel and Judah. It was only because God intervened in another great miracle, which I might tell you about another day, that the kingdom of Judah was not completely destroyed. Jesus came into the world to save sinners, like Ahaz, like Pekah, like you, and like me. Emmanuel is a name for Jesus. It means God with us. Will we trust in him as Isaiah told Ahaz to do? Or will we just do our own thing, making our own plans, in the hope it will work out? The fact is, human plans without faith in Emmanuel have a habit of failing, especially when they involve bullying. Will we be firm in our faith in Jesus, in Emmanuel, or will we not be firm at all?